We are talking with Vanessa Walsh, NFL professional handicapper, Scott Kellen from SixCentSports.com, and Robert Ferringo from Doc Sports, previewing NFL Week 6 on the SBR TV NFL Experts Roundtable. Let's move on to the final game, which is the Monday night showdown between Miami and the Jets. Now, we cover this game for marketing purposes, but actually after looking it over, I think this is actually probably aligned with some value. I kind of like Miami here, +7. The line opened at Jets -9. It's now down to 7. Now, both teams have been losing bets on the year. They've both been terrible against the spread, but Miami is off of a bye. And the reports are things that they're kind of upbeat this week and that they're, focused on this game. The Jets are reportedly having a lot of internal strife, complaints about the offensive coordinator. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Miami +7 might be a good bet. Scott Kellen, you agree with that?
I do, actually. I like the Dolphins in this game. I haven't decided if I'll actually place a bet on it or not, but I make the line about 7, so I think the line's fairly somewhat fair from that standpoint. But Miami qualifies in a lot of situations for me this week. One of them is that turnover play that I discussed earlier with Philadelphia. That situation is very strong, and they apply to that. They also apply to a couple situations where you just got really, really bad teams coming off a bye, winless teams coming off a bye. Generally speaking, there's a few more parameters to that, but generally speaking, they actually perform very well as underdogs. So hopefully Miami can get it together from that standpoint. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. And they also apply to some fundamental rushing situations for me as well. They've also, I think, won the last 3 years there, and 4 and 5 years ago, they lost, I think, by 3 points each game or something of a very small margin. So they've been competitive in New York the last 5 years, winning the last 3, I believe, outright. They apply to numerous situations, both technically and fundamentally, which I like. When you get that matchup, that's very favorable, and I think the line's fair. So I think the only way to look in this game really is Miami. They actually have a slightly better offense than the Jets so far this year. Defense obviously is not as good, but hopefully with a couple weeks to prepare, they can get that back together a little bit. But the line's fair, and the situations definitely favor the Dolphins. I think that's the only way to look in this game.
All right, good to hear. Yeah, I would rather have gotten 9 than 7, but I think I'd take 7 too. Robert Ferringo from DocSports.com. What do you think about this line?
Yeah, you said it. I definitely would have liked 9 more than 7, but I also agree that Miami is a solid side in this game. Chad Henne is out; he's injured, but I actually think that Matt Moore could be an upgrade for them. I know that he was pathetic last year in Carolina, but that Carolina team was just pathetic all the way around. He had nothing to work with, really. In the 2 years that he had played before that kind of spot starter stuff, he was 6-2 as a starter. He throws a pretty good ball. And Miami's biggest problem this year is that Chad Henne was just missing way too many throws. They had Houston in that game in Miami. They should have won that game. They were laying the wood to Cleveland, but just couldn't get any separation, again, because Henne couldn't convert the big play. So Miami's a team, they're 0-4 right now. They probably should be 2-2. They've had 2 weeks to prep. They're desperate for that win. You get a Jets team that's in a letdown spot after that New England game, but, all that internal strife with the Jets almost makes me a little nervous about betting against them. It's almost too easy to jump off the bandwagon or get out the pitchforks and go against them. They played at Oakland, they played at Baltimore, they played at New England. Those are 3 really difficult road venues. So it's almost forgivable that they lost all 3 of those games. So I don't think that they're as bad as they have played. And you just hate to put yourself in a situation where they come out even more motivated than Miami and just lay the lumber with that defense. So I like Miami. I may like the under a little bit more in this situation, but I definitely am going to have a play on this game. So.
All right. I think I'm leaning towards Miami. I think I'm going to make a bet. Vanessa Walsh, do you disagree with that? Do you want to try to talk me out of it, or do you agree?
I wish I could talk you out of it. Actually, I have to agree with you.
Okay, excellent.
As a matter of fact, last year, December 12th, was the Dolphins' last win against the Jets, as a matter of fact. And they had sacked Sanchez 6 times in that game. So we have a Jets team who definitely lost their ground and pound game, and now they have a terrible quarterback trying to play as a passer who is just falling flat on his face with that. So we should watch the Dolphins finally take home a win and just embarrass the Jets a little bit more than what they've had embarrassed themselves so far this year. I think I'm going to have to be rooting for the Dolphins this game.
All right. I'm going to go bet them right after this call. Thanks so much, guys. Scott Kellen from SixCentSports.com, Robert Ferringo from Doc Sports, and professional NFL handicapper Vanessa Walsh. You can find her Facebook page if you want to get in contact with her. Thanks so much, guys.